What's up, strangers? Welcome here. In my previous video, we went thoroughly into 10 common English mistakes, took a test, and discussed the results. If you haven't watched it yet, the link is down below, check it out. In today's video, we will talk about other examples of words where people often confuse meanings. Of course, another test is waiting for you at the end of the video. Are you ready for a good time? Me versus I. Most people understand the difference between these two words until it's time to use one in a sentence. The difference between these two words is super simple. I is used as a subject, while me is used as an object. When do we use I? I represents a singular subject pronoun, which means that it refers to the person performing the action of a verb. For example, I went to the cinema with James. Another example with the same meaning is James and I went to the cinema. Why do we put I instead of me? In this sentence, there are two subjects, Jack and I. That is why the correct pronoun is I. When do we use me? Me is used as the direct or indirect objects in a sentence and is always used to express the object of the message. For example, a dog licked me. In this sentence, me is the direct object of the verb licked because it receives the action of licking. Another example is, a friend gave me a book. This sentence uses me as an indirect object. Indirect objects are often sandwiched between a verb and its direct object to indicate who is benefiting from the action. And the last example is, Nancy made a present for me. In this sentence, me is the object of the preposition for. This sentence conveys the same meaning as the previous one, but it's constructed a bit differently. Who versus that. We use these two words to describe someone or something. When you are describing a person, be sure to use who. When you are describing an object, use that. For example, Nika is a blogger who has Freddie Mercuryevich. Freddie Mercuryevich loves new clothes that he's bought recently. Whom versus whose versus whose. Whom is an object pronoun, meaning if you could replace it with him, her, me, us, or them, you are good to go. Whom do the headphones belong to? They belong to me. Another way to ask this question is, whose headphones are these? Both whose and whose come from the same pronoun who. Shocking, right? Whose is a contraction, meaning it's two words stuck together. The formula, who plus is, or who plus has. For example, who's hungry, which is who is hungry. Who's been to Denmark? In this sentence, who stands for who has been to Denmark. Whose is a possessive pronoun. Use it when you are asking or telling whom something belongs to. For example, whose laptop is this? Or another example that we saw earlier is whose headphones are these? There's one easy trick to determine which of these words is the correct choice for your sentence. If you substitute who is for either whose or whose, you can easily tell which one is the correct choice. For example, whose cat are you stroking? Who's the main character in the book? If we substitute who is into both of these sentences, we can see which is correct. Who is cat are you stroking? This sentence doesn't make any sense when we put in who is, so we know whose was the correct choice. Who is the main character in the book? This sentence makes perfect sense when we put who is in place of whose, so we know that whose is fine to use. When people mix up loose and lose, it's just because they are spelled so similarly. There is no reason to lose your mind worrying about it. Just lose the extra O. What is the difference between lose and lose? Lose is only a verb. It has several meanings. To lose is to suffer a loss, to be deprived of something, or to fail to keep possession of something. For instance, if I lose my glasses once more this week, I'm going to glue them to my head. Lose is mainly an adjective used to describe things that are not tightly fitted. For example, my trousers are loose. If it's used as a verb, it means to release. For instance, we lose the dogs in the garden. It also has a noun sense mainly confined to the idiom on the loose, which means at large. Watch, look and see. Let's see how well you understand the meaning of these verbs. Stop watching my private journal. I look at the snow falling. I don't play tennis, but I look at them playing every day. Correct the mistakes. The correct sentences should be: Stop looking at my private journal. I watch the snow falling. I don't play tennis, but I see them playing every day. Watch, look, and see are often confused in meaning. However, they should be used in different situations. Look, to look at something directly. See, to see something that comes into our sight that we weren't looking for. And watch, to look at something carefully, usually at something that's moving. We can see something even if we don't want to, but we can only look at something on purpose. So, you are watching my video right now and you are looking at me on purpose, but there is a chance that you might see me not on the internet but in reality. Let's clear it up. The word between is used to refer to two or more things that are clearly separated. For example, you choose between a black and a red t-shirt. The word among is used to refer to things that aren't clearly separated because they're a part of a group or mass of objects. For example, you choose among your t-shirts which one suits you best today. I chose black and white. Since or for. We use for if we don't have to calculate the period of time because the amount of time is indicated in the sentence already. For instance, I have lived here for 8 months. You don't have to calculate anything. You know the period is 8 months. We use since if we have to calculate the period of time because we only have the starting point. For example, I have lived here since 2009. You have to calculate now. If you came in 2009, the starting point, and now it's 2020. Crunch time! Let's see if you still make some of these mistakes or you're finally beyond them. The first task is choose the correct option and explain. She needs to talk to James and I or me. They live in a house. Roof is full of holes. Whom, whose, or whose? The correct answer in the first sentence is she needs to talk to James and me. Why did we put me instead of I? In this sentence, me expresses the object of the message. The second sentence should be they live in a house whose roof is full of holes. Whose is a possessive pronoun. We use it to say that the roof belongs to the house. If you did everything right, you get 5 points. If you made one mistake, you get 0 points. No offense, let's be friends. Keep it up. The second task is finding correct mistakes. I've lived in Amsterdam for 2016. My friends and me often meet up and cycle together. Then we always go to our favorite cafe and grab some coffee. I like coffee so badly. A friend of mine, Matt, works there, so I sometimes watch him. Did you find all the mistakes? I've lived in Amsterdam since 2016. We use since because we only have the starting point and we have to calculate for how long that person has lived in Amsterdam. My friends and I often meet up and cycle together. We say I because it's a subject and I performs an action here. My friends and I meet up. If you were super duper thorough, you would notice a mistake that wasn't discussed about. Then we always go to our favorite cafe and grab some coffee. There are two words, then and then. In my previous video, I've talked about the differences between them and how to use them properly. The link in the description. The only correct version here is then with E because it's a plan what we do next. We cycle and after that, then we go to a cafe. A friend of mine, Matt, works there, so I sometimes watch him. This one is tricky. You can use the verb watch here, but the meaning of the sentence would be creepy. It's like you're a maniac and you watch your friend Matt how he works. That's weird. The proper sentence is, a friend of mine, Matt, works there, so I sometimes see him. We use the verb see here because we don't expect to meet our friend Matt in our favorite cafe. We just know that he works there, so there is a chance that we will see him. If you did everything right, you get 5 points. If you made one mistake, you get 2 points. Also, if you noticed a mistake then with E, you get extra 3 points. If you made more mistakes, you get 0 points. Last task for today. You are to create a cool story using tricky words from this lesson and the previous video with common mistakes in English. Write it in the comment section down below. The best storyteller will get a prize, a lesson with me. Hurry up! That is everything for today. Keep on improving your English and be better every day. Stay tuned for my next videos. There's gonna be more positivity and creativity. Consume yummy knowledge, share with the world, and be happy. See ya!